Be your best friend. And you know why. Correct? I can decorate your living room. I'm strong enough to move the furniture. Your husbands and boyfriends haven't figured out that I can be their best friend too. They're still a little scared. Gentlemen, if you don't understand that a faggot can be your best friend, think of it this way. Sunday afternoon when your wife's sitting on the couch watching a Lifetime movie and crying and you don't know why? Want to guess who does? Let me ask you this. How many men in this room have had their wife bring them home a pink shirt to wear? I love that muffled laughter. You're scared. Well, gentlemen, I'll be the first one to tell you, real men don't wear pink. That's bad coming from a faggot. Really bad. Even though I don't consider myself a good faggot, I failed along the way. I'm from Eastern Kentucky. Want to know how hard that is to grow up that way? I could pass for straight. That wasn't a joke. Sweetie, if I could stand still and shut up, nobody'd ever know. The minute I open my mouth and my purse falls out, they all know. It's hard being a hillbilly faggot. We didn't even have Judy Garland. We had Crystal Gale. It was no surprise to me growing up in Eastern Kentucky that there's a lot of things that normal fags do that I don't. I hate to shop. Let that one sink in, people. A faggot that doesn't like to shop. Growing up in Eastern Kentucky, where did I have to shop at? Come on, there's one store. Thank you. How many people think Walmart is the bane of my existence? Why? Walmart is full of old people at all hours of the day. I can go at 3 in the morning. There's nobody in the aisle when I go down it. You know what I hear? Wheels and clicking. It's like the blue-haired Matrix appears behind me, and they're pointing to the top shelf. It's not like I'm stalking midgets to ask them to get shit off the bottom shelf for me. I know they see that sign that says for help with items on the top shelf. That doesn't mean stalk your fellow shoppers. Let's get real. These people are old enough to fart dirt and get a senior citizen's discount at McDonald's. Why do I owe them anything? They wear sunglasses inside. We all know the only bright light they're seeing is the vinyl one. I moved to Florida at the beginning of the year, and when I asked was the state bird the vulture, that did not go over big. But I'm reminded here in West Virginia that your Walmart has standards, and you can be thrown out. Anybody want to take a guess who took that walk of shame? Do we have anybody else here that's been thrown out of Walmart? You all are going to leave me alone on this one? Nobody? Oh, what? You've been thrown out of the mall?
Yeah.
What for?
Shopping cart jousting.
Shopping cart jousting? That is beautiful. You know what'll get you thrown out of Walmart in West Virginia? Hitting a woman. Twice. With a roll of wrapping paper. In front of her children while wearing a Santa hat. This woman, when I asked her politely, excuse me, ma'am, this fat bitch didn't move. Let me tell you, when that wrapping paper hit the back of her head and bent around to the front, as her head rotated and she goes, what the, I hit the bitch again. Do you know she wasn't even adult enough not to go tell on me? The next thing I see, 2 assistant managers and the man from the meat department, because I'm a big bitch, come up incident and looks down at a bent roll of wrapping paper in my hand. I didn't even have enough sense to drop that shit in housewares. When they gave me the option of calling the police or leaving, I decided to choose leaving because I don't want to embarrass my mother any more than I already do. And as it started to set in, you know, from the back of the store, my mouth never shut up as I looked at the manager and said, "You're just jealous." You know you want to hit your customers, you just don't have the balls to do it. Deep down, he wanted to give me a round of applause and couldn't. As we got to the front of the store and it did set in that I am being thrown out of a hillbilly Walmart, I decided to go ahead and add crazy to my list. As I got right to the door, I looked at the manager and said, "Do you think you're the only Walmart in this area?" And stalked out to my car. That left me going to the mall, and I wasn't smart enough to think of shopping cart joust. But we can bet that one's coming. And I hate the mall at Christmas. It's filled with brats, am I correct? I went this year and I had to stand and watch Santa Claus with the kids on his lap because I think it's cute. Right up until Santa Claus looked up, noticed me in line, and asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I told him. Oh, ladies, we probably asked for the same thing. My stocking was empty. 3 women with PhDs and not college degrees, people, Pentecostal hairdos, pulled their children out of line. One little girl behind me looked at her sister and said Santa Claus wasn't real, and I was reaching for karma points. And I said, "Honey, I'm older than you, and I believe in Santa Claus." Do you know what that little bitch did? She looked at her sister, looked back at me, and said, "God, you're like 40. And without missing a beat, I leaned down and said, "Sweetie, Santa Claus died." I wasn't attempting for Santa's good list. I wanted to be on the naughty list. I could take gentlemen like you, put a lump of coal in your seat, and as hard as you've been squeezing those cheeks together, I'd have me a diamond by now. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. We want to take just a moment to thank our sponsors, the PALS, Personal Assistant and Lifestyle Services, Cruisers Bar and Grill, Tweed Silos Golf Course. And I get choked up on that every single time. And we have a special guest for you tonight. Are you ready? I have taught you better than that. Are you ready for a special guest tonight? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to hear him on Bob and Tom Tuesday morning from Nashville, Tennessee, Dan Whitehurst. One more time for my buddy Jeromy.